Now let's discuss the negative type of microbial interaction that exists in an environment. So parasitism is one of such negative interaction. It's a relationship in which one population, that is the parasites, gets benefited and derives its nutrition from the other population, which is generally the host. The host parasite relationship is characterized by a relatively long period of contact, which may be either physical or metabolic. Some parasites live outside the host cell, they are called active parasites, whereas the parasites which live within the host cells are called endoparasites. We will discuss two examples. The first example is viruses. These are obligate intracellular parasites that live within the host cell and they are highly specific to the host. We have discussed the type of interaction in our viruses chapter. So the second example is of Dallovibrio. You see this? These are ectoparasites to many gram-negative bacteria. They attack them and drive nutrition from them. The second type of negative interaction is predation, which is a widespread phenomenon in which one organism, which is generally the predator, attacks or engulfs the other organism, which is the prey. So this prey can be larger or smaller than the predator and it generally results in the death of the prey. So this type of interaction is generally of short duration. There are two examples we will discuss. There are like protozoans and bacteria which live in soils. These protozoans can feed upon those soil bacteria and maintain their number to specific level in the soil. The second example is of the Dallovibrio. So Dallovibrio is both the parasite as well as a predator on many gram-negative bacteria. So they attach to the host cell endocytose and then they multiply and when they are released they cause death of the host. So in a microbial community or microbial environment, the term predator and parasitism is interchangeable and it's not very sharp. Depending upon the equilibrium between the two organisms, this may shift and what might be a stable parasitic relationship can become pathogenic as in case of Dallovibrio. The third type of negative interaction is commensalism, in which one microbial population produces substances which inhibit the growth of other microbial population. This is also called antagonism. So it's also a negative relationship. The first population which produces the inhibitory substance are unaffected or may gain computation in advantage and survive in their habitat, while the other population is inhibited. This chemical inhibitor is known as antibiosis. An example are production of antibiotics and bacteriocins. So antibiotics are produced by bacteria which kill or inhibit the growth of susceptible microbes and results in production of this zone of inhibition. And similarly, bacteriocins, which are basically proteinaceous toxins produced by bacteria, they kill other specific type of microorganism. So they can also be broad spectrum. Another example of commensalism is the normal flora present in our skin, which produces fatty acids. These fatty acids inhibit many pathogenic bacteria on our skin. So fourth type of negative interaction is competition. Competition arises when different microorganisms within a population or community try to acquire the same resource or niche, whether it is physical location or a particular limiting nutrient. The competition represents a negative relationship between two microbial populations in which both the populations are adversely affected with respect to their survival and growth. So competition can occur when both populations use the same resource such as the space and So the microbial population achieves lower maximum density or growth rate. So microbial population can also compete for growth limiting resources such as carbon source, nitrogen source, phosphorus, vitamins, and growth factors. So competition basically inhibits both the population from occupying exactly the same ecological niche because only one can win and the other one has to be eliminated. A famous example of competitive exclusion principle is of a competition between Paramecium aurelia and Paramecium caudatum under lab conditions. When they are grown separately in lab, they grow to their full potential. But once we try them to grow them in a single tube, initially both of them struggle to survive. But as the time passes, Aurelia is the one which survives the competition and Chordatum is eliminated. So students, it's time for second concept checkpoint. So there are two scenarios and you have to try to figure out their answers. So in first scenario, imagine if there were no negative interactions among microbial population. What would be the structure of that community and how would it survive in an ecosystem? And the second scenario is how can a parasitic relationship turn into a predatory relationship? Try to figure out any examples and we'll discuss their answer in our interactive sections.